Welcome to our 2021 budget workshop. Is everybody ready?
Yep.
Okay. We have in the room Randy Netherland, Kevin Schutte, Don Twitty, Diedrich Allen, Diane Zorn, Frank Pinter, Leo Kim, Patsy Robinson, Sharon Trask, Vicki King, and myself, Jennifer Byerly. So this is a continuation from last week's 2021 budget workshop. And I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. So this is the summary of the general fund revenues. Right now we are at, can everybody see that?
I don't see anything.
Oh, sorry. Can you see it now?
Yep.
Okay. So right now we are at $53,485,234 in the general fund revenue. That includes the beginning fund balance of 14 million estimate. And if we take that out, we are at $39,485,234. And looking on the expenditure sheet now, we have I have my scribbles on there. So we are at 53,485,234,000, and that includes ending fund balance of 12,801,611 and total expenditures excluding ending fund balance $40,683,623. We started out last week, we were at a difference between interperiod revenue and expenditures of $1,482,644,000. And now after last week's changes, we are at $1,198,390. And those changes are listed on this sheet here. We have the assessor's office, I'm calling it a reclass on here, but I think it's actually a promotion is what was decided, of $3,761. We have in emergency management, adding the one FTE that's 84% funded by FEMA and ESPG grants. We have the reduction that we made from district court's PLRs of 36,000, which I forgot to add in the explanation on there, but it's taking out the judge pro tem of 25,000, the interpreter of 5,500, postage of 3,300, travel of 500, juror and witness services of 1,700, which totals 36,000. Office of Public Defense, we added $39,205 for their one FTE public defender, and then offsetting revenue of 36,000, which is a difference of 3,205. We already had 72,000 in the budget for contracts, and so anyway, the difference is the adding the one FTE, the 39,205. In the sheriff's office, we removed one of the FTEs that were previously added during the budget process. That was the FTE for the opening of building 10. And then in non-departmental, we added 300,000 in Seattle Shellfish revenue. In facilities, DCD parks, and I forgot to list motor pool on there as well. We have the general services Teamsters contract settlement of 116,300 total. And so the total impact to ending fund balance from last week is a difference of an increase of $284,254, which is the difference between last week's 1.482 million and this week's 1.198 million. So the only other changes that I have on my list to make are the updating of the property tax, which I'm not quite prepared to do. I have the resolutions sent to the assessor's office for review, but I believe the change is going to be this $20,723 reduction in property tax revenue for the general fund, in the treasurer's office revenue. And then I did have two other questions open that we haven't addressed previously, or we need to address again. In the auditor's O&M fund, we did move that position up into fully funded out of current expense, which was, the auditor's recommendation, which is great. But I left in the auditor's O&M fund 104 salaries and benefits. And I talked to Patty McGuire about it, and he thought that was a good idea in case there was any work that was done in that fund. So I wanted to ask the commission before I leave salaries and benefits in that fund, if that's something that you would like to see available for use in case any work is done in that fund. Does that make sense? Should I expand or reword?
Can you explain that to me one more time?
Yeah, so the auditor's O&M is that position that was funded halfway out of that fund. It's now showing up in the auditor's office in current expense out of the auditor's office, the 001030 fund. But the salaries and benefits that were in the auditor's O&M fund for that half are still sitting in there in that fund. And I can move that amount to ending fund balance and have nothing available, or have it partially available for use in case any work is done.
Absence of a presentation or request, I think it's more appropriate for just to go back to the ending fund balance. If the commission with a request that he has a position available or money available for part-time or some other, that'd be different. But absent of that, I don't think it'd be appropriate.
Okay, then I will move that in to salary. To ending fund balance, and it doesn't change the amount that's budgeted in that fund. Like, I'll give you an example so you can see. So on this sheet that was emailed to you today, and I'll put it online so that everybody has access to it as well. This shows the salaries and benefits and operating, and then revenues for each fund compared to 2020. So there's 2020 adopted budget, 2021 proposed budget, and in auditor's O&M fund 104, we have that $50,974 for salaries and benefits sitting there. I'll just move that over into.
The funds will still be there if he needs them. We can sit and talk as a commission about how that would be done in the next year. But
yeah, if they need it, they can apply for a budget amendment and do it that way. Okay, great. Thank you very much.
Jen, I have an issue I need to go back on before we go too much further. I need to clarify something. If the commission does agree, they are not creating a line to promote somebody in the assessor's office. That's not what we do at this level. What we may do is allow for the budget to show a reorg or a position correction. And that's what we're looking at here. We don't hire the person. We don't select the person to move up or to be promoted. That's not what we're doing. We're just, if we decide, we're allowing for them to have that new position with the doing away with that other position in their office, and the rest, it has to go out for bid and stuff. It's all up to them at that point, not us.
I would concur with that.
Okay, so are we then removing that 3760 out of the budget then for
I
2020?
wasn't saying that. I was just saying it's not a promotion. It's not I'll leave it to the other commissioners whether it stays there. It's just not a promotion.
Okay.
It's two different conversations.
Yeah.
One is essentially creating another position line item, and the other is insinuating in some way that we're promoting somebody by agreeing to that. It's not.
Yes.
We don't deal on that level of operations.
Okay,
Right.
sorry for the miss.
I don't think we have anything in our policy for promotions.
We do not. This would not be the place to do
Which
it.
again
I
is
want one, but this isn't it.
completely separate conversation.
Yeah.
This is-
Okay, so
Great.
how would you like to handle that then in the budget?
Just part of is considered as, internally for us as a type of reorg. You're removing the one position and creating the second position, or creating the analyst position, removing the appraiser position.
So add another line in their budget and then fund that new line and then not fund the existing line?
If that's what the commission is agreeing to do, is the commission agreeing to move forward on that proposition of creating the analyst versus and removing the assessor or the
Appraiser.
appraiser?
In my mind, excuse me, in my mind, that would be the only way I would be supportive if it was, so the way it's been kind of explained, and I've seen the email chains, is you have 6 people in those positions. They have 4 field appraisers and 2 appraiser analysts. And so as long as we're keeping it 6 and, expanding or creating a new position on the appraiser analyst and doing the reduction on the other side, then I'm supportive.
Yeah, I would agree with that, to keeping the FTE count the same. But just creating, I guess, the new position, which would have to go, I believe, through HR and then have to be advertised.
Yeah, so I'm just wondering if then maybe we should keep it out of the budget at this time since it hasn't went through.
And Jennifer, if I may interject, I think what the board is saying is that we're changing one position from analyst to, I'm sorry, from an appraiser to an analyst. So all we're doing is substituting one position for another. No change in FTEs.
Mhm.
The other position is slightly higher in pay. That's the $3,700. So that's the budgetary authority that the appraiser is looking for, is to increase their salaries and benefits by that $3,700. The process would be something that HR goes through and the appraiser in order to get that position moved.
But in the future, we either agree or disagree on this at a different time. It gets added into the budget during budget time, of course, but this decision should not be being made now. But we're in that position to do it. So we're making the decision now, but in the future, I hope this is something that we deal with differently. We've never done it this way. It's not an appropriate way, I don't believe, to handle it, but we're going to handle it and take care of it this time to get it finished.
Okay, so I will go ahead and get the new line and not fund the existing line, keep that 3760 total on, along with whatever the existing line has on it, and keep it in.
Frank, is she going to have a problem advertising and getting that position filled before the new year?
I don't think so.
So why don't we just remove that other line then? If it's not going to be needed in there for the next year, remove that position line.
Yep, we can do that.
I think that's the most appropriate way to deal with it.
Yep.
I agree.
This has everything to do with position control, and the county is moving towards that.
Yes.
To say that within each department, there's a mechanism to account for FTEs 1 year to the next, as well as salaries and benefits dollars. So we will improve on the mechanism going forward so that it doesn't come into the budgetary conversation.
Thank you.
I appreciate that.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Frank. The last thing that I wanted to address was roads, new road projects. Their beginning and ending fund balance line. We have $4 million in that line currently. And I know that the commissioners, you had talked about adding dollars into that line. Is that something that we want to do now?
I need, for me to be supportive of it, I want to, but to be supportive of it, I need Loretta to decide the amount and where it was going to come from. And has she done that?
Loretta and I talked about it this morning, and she was comfortable with 500,000, and I was thinking the same. Just
Then I'm comfortable with 500,000.
and you are too,
Yes. Yeah.
Commissioner Trask and Shooty.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, I will move that then. Is there anything else that we want to talk about?
Budget wise or just in general?
Yeah. Oh, I guess I should tell you that the changes to the special funds on the general services Teamsters. I have a sheet for that. So in community services health, we have $31,905 for their change. In the landfill, we have $28,501. In North Bay Sewer, $41,404. Russellwood Sewer and Water, $13,998. In Beards Cove Water, $5,742, and Belfair Sewer, $15,858, for a total of $137,408 change to the salaries and benefits due to the general services Teamsters contract settlement. And all of that came out of ending fund balance. With community services health, I added it into beginning fund balance as well. And their ending fund balance is zero for budget purposes, but we all know that it's going to be much higher than that in reality. So any questions or comments on that?
Nope, not for me.
Okay. Then I think we're ready to put out a final. So I will put the total budget. It'll be on the website by Monday, hopefully before then, by the end of this week. And it has to be out by law on Monday for adoption on December 7th.
Great. We near the end.
Yeah.
Jennifer, just as you kind of, crystal ball things as much as you can, are you anticipating any, are you confident still, given the latest round of restrictions in our sales tax projections? Is there anything that gives you pause there?
No, not at all in the sales tax department. I mean, we're on track this year to receive 6.6 million at least. As long as we, if we receive exactly what we had received last year in November and December, we will be at 6.6 million. And we've surpassed what we have received over last year in the last, every single month this year, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Commissioners, I've given this great thought, and I have a feeling that this COVID thing has actually been extremely beneficial to our sales tax, because normally where you would have a whole region of North Mason and South Mason that would go to Olympia, North Mason going to Kitsap, they're not doing it, and they were literally buying online, and we were receiving that benefit of that.
Right.
And I think that's going to happen here on Christmas too, which interesting for us, bad for them, good for us.
Right, I agree. I think that with the sales tax, and I know I'm contributing to that as well, but I think also people will probably shop more local during this season because we are restricted. And so I do see, I think out of all of this, I think that that's the best silver lining that we could find or have.
You know, the kids at malls, a ghost town in comparison to any other year.
Oh, I bet. Well, I appreciate that. Just asking.
Okay, great. Any other questions or comments before we wrap up?
Thank you for all your hard work, Jennifer. You are highly appreciated by all of us here.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You're in the home stretch.
Yes, we're almost done. Okay, thank you very much. It's been great working with all of you.
Yeah.
I mean, over this, I'm not quitting.
I was gonna say, wait a minute.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jennifer.
Bye.